What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Portal. Oh, sorry. Not Portal. Chromagun. That's right. Yeah, you can forgive me for getting those two mixed up because they're kinda similar. This is Chromagun. It's by Pixel Maniacs. It's a first-person puzzle game about solving things with a big white gun that you can see on the screen that has a similar kind of aesthetic to a gun that was used to solve puzzles somewhere that I've seen before, somewhere in time. Yeah, looks like it was made by Apple, really. So yeah, it's Portal by any other name. The mechanics are different, obviously, as you might have guessed. It's all about colours rather than portals, but it's drawing a lot of inspiration. Let's be honest. Well, let's have a look at the settings before we get into it. There is music and sound effects on separate sliders, which is good to see. There is voiceover, so it might be nice to have the voice on a separate slider as well. That might be, I think that's probably lumped in with sound effects, if I'm honest. Mouse sensitivity, sure, by default that was actually like crazy low. I've had to crank it right up to maximum just to be able to do anything with it. And I'm using a really high DPI gaming mouse, which is like insane. I very rarely have to do that. Normally I have to turn it down, if anything, in games, so that was kind of odd. And it's a Unity game, so there ain't much in the way of graphics. It's all in the launcher, you've got your usual presets on there. And all we get in-game is motion blur and shadows. Might be nice to see more stuff, but you very, very rarely do in Unity. It seems just to be the way of the world. So I genuinely don't know if you can do much more with it in Unity. I would hope so, but you very rarely see it. And it's not true here either, so hey. We shall head on in. Let's select a chapter. I will say, actually, one thing that's definitely missing from the options menu is, because it's a color-based game, there were no colorblind options at all. And this game's all about mixing colors. Yeah, it would be nice to have some colorblind options. So let's sort of have a look at what we're doing. We have a gun that shoots different blobs of paint at walls, very white walls that look like they belong in a test chamber of some sort. Oh, who am I kidding? They refer to them as test chambers. These are test chambers. We are working through a series of test chambers. They're not even trying to hide the fact that this is a Portal wannabe. So we have a paint gun, and we can splot paint on the walls. We have yellow, red, and blue. And as paint is wont to do, if you mix the colours together, you make different colours. And I just mixed the same colours together. There we go. And I also want to make a purple. That's it. That's all the colours. And then if you mix any more paint with any of the secondary colours, they just kind of go brown. And brown is not functional to you. Brown is kind of almost brown, for all intents and purposes, in the game is effectively the same as white. It doesn't do anything. What are we doing with them? We are trying to get to these robots to be attracted to them. These robots, the little robots that float around. There's a couple of different kinds of robots that float around. There are some safe ones, there are some nasty ones. This one's a nice safe one. It's behind a wall regardless. I can't get through this. There's a wall that I can shoot paint through, but robots won't move through. I can't move through. Robots won't react to anything on the other side of it. But you are trying to maneuver that robot to switch, and the robots will always be attracted to panels that are the same colour as them. So if we put yellow paint on that wall, nothing happens. If we were to make it green, it would be attracted to that. So yeah, as I can say, as I mentioned, the colorblind thing is kind of a thing. So I'm not up on colorblindness, but just I feel like some of these colors on the same spectrum here, I feel like they might have difficulty in it. Maybe if anyone is colorblind when watching this and is looking at that and can tell me, do those colors look fairly similar? I don't know. I would be very hard pressed to tell you myself. I can obviously see they're different, but I feel like there would be people who will have difficulty with that. I know for a fact there is a variety of colorblindness that has difficulty differentiating between red and green, so I feel like for a lot of people those two colors are probably going to look reasonably similar as well. And there's no way around that because the developers have not put in any options to cater to that. They haven't tweaked the game, changed anything, put any filters in that would allow people who have color blindness to differentiate between those colors. And that's kind of an oversight on their part. I feel like any game that has any kind of color-based mechanics really needs to have those options. This game has color as its primary mechanic. It is the core mechanic around which the game is entirely centered. I feel like those options are absolutely mandatory here, and they're not there. So that's kind of unfortunate. At any rate, What are we doing with these colors? We're trying to maneuver robots. The robots will always be attracted to any point, all points that they can see within a certain radius that is the same color as them, and they will maneuver to a point equidistant between them. So if I were to put green on there, it will maneuver to a point equidistant there. It tries to find the shortest path between them. So if I were to put yellow and green on there, it's going to try and find the point between those three, which is not on the switch, so what I really need to do is just turn that on brown. So the middle point between those two panels is that. Obviously, the simple and easy solution to this level would literally just put green on that panel, but I just kind of wanted to show you how the robots move around. So here we have one of our spiky friends. This guy will always try and stab me because he's spiky and angry like that. Some of the robots don't immediately try and stab you, some of them do. Some of them won't try and stab you until you shoot them with a colour. So in this case, this one's fairly irate and will try to stab me. He can't get through that. He can go over that, but that will fry any man or robot that steps on it, so he's not going to attempt to do that. What we could do is we could force it to step on it, though. It will still be attracted to colour, so it will move across those panels if the colour forces it to. And then it will step on it and deactivate it. Those panels burn out once they've been fried. So that robot becomes deactivated. We've got a couple of robots here. I've found some issues with this level, I gotta say. These robots can kind of force each other over this panel. You're supposed to use the colour mechanics here. We're supposed to use you were supposed to paint that wall orange in order to force the orange robot onto it, and then use the purple one for stuff later. But I've found that sometimes it seems like the AI one of the robots can force the other one. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly how that. That's a bug. That is a bug. I'm calling it like I see it. That one's a bug. You're supposed to track it, but basically this level kind of solves itself, which is just an issue with the robot AI. It doesn't come up very often. In fact, that's the only time I've seen that come up. But nonetheless, it's there. In true Portal style, you can shoot all the cameras off the walls. I presume there is an achievement for shooting all the cameras off the walls, or at least knocking them out of alignment, if nothing else. So yeah, that's a thing. It's not really trying to hide the fact it's Portal. There is a secret back here. Minor spoiler, I guess, but it's fairly obvious. You see that my first reaction upon seeing this was like, "Hey, what's back there?" Let's have a look.
Congratulations. You found the hidden... Cake? You found the hidden cake! Sensational! Seriously, who the hell left the cake in the testing area? What are we, amateur?
Yep, that's a cake reference. The achievement you get for finding this is not a lie. And the gentleman that you just met is definitely not Cave Johnson, but really, really trying to be Cave Johnson. Let's be honest, if you played Portal 2, you will have met the man Cave Johnson. This guy, he will occasionally introduce levels. It's sort of each section of the game, the first few floors of it, he will kind of introduce you and sort of say, hey, this is what's going on, here's the new mechanics in this area. If you stand around for a while, he will berate you for not solving the levels very well. If you fail at a level, he will berate you for failing to solve a level in a snarky and mildly entertaining Cave Johnson-esque kind of manner. But on the whole, honestly, I just don't think he's quite as charming or entertaining as Cave Johnson. He's very much trying to be. He is trying to be. But I think it falls just a little bit short. So this particular room... We've got two switches that they can be activated by me stepping on them, and they should be. We've got a red robot that's covered in this mesh that, like the walls, means you can't paint them. Anything with that on cannot be painted. Oh yeah, you can aim down sights for some reason with this gun. I don't know why you need to do that. I've never found the need to do that, but right-clicking does let you aim down sights for some reason. Yeah, this robot will be attracted to this red wall. As we saw around here, there's a red wall through here, and because the robots try to find points equidistant, if I do this, the robot is immediately going to be dragged through the door, attracted to that, stand on the electric, and be fried, which is a suboptimal solution to the level, because it is not a solution to the level, that's a failure. If I hold Z, we can restart the level. A little bit of a colour wheel there to tell us how to mix colours, in case you weren't paying attention in preschool. What we need to do is press this switch to let the robot out, and then quickly step on the other one so that it gets seen by that one. It's a little bit temperamental, I guess, huh? Some of the puzzles require some fairly quick timing. I guess this is one of the more timing-intensive ones. So let's let it out. Maybe let it out. Yeah, quick, grab that. And there we go. Basically what it's doing is it's trying to move to a point equidistant between the two panels that it can see, which is that point would effectively be kind of on the other side of the doorway, about there, I guess. So it gets dragged through the doorway. As soon as it's in the doorway, it breaks line of sight to that panel, so it moves to a point there and hits the switch and opens that switch, then opens the doorway, and we head out through to the next room. There is a camera that needs shooting because Portal has conditioned as well. Pavlov would be proud. And onwards and upwards. So I feel like the whole Cave Johnson thing is a little bit of a missed opportunity. I feel like they could have done more with that character. He only appears like a small handful of times at the start of each level, and I really do feel like they could have done a lot more with that character, and it just feels like a missed opportunity. I don't know whether it was budgetary constraints, they couldn't get the voice actor for long enough to do a lot more content with him, but I don't know, there should be more. Portal always had this kind of strange, quirky relationship with the characters throughout, and this one, it feels like a missed opportunity to not have that running throughout. There's just these occasional moments as opposed to all the way through. Portal always had that. I know I'm making comparisons all the way, but let's be honest, they're not trying to hide their influences either. It's very heavily inspired, it's very obviously trying to be Portal in a lot of regards. So I think not having that conversation with the characters, or at the very least character throughout, I don't know, I feel like they could have done more there, and they just haven't. So this is a fairly interesting puzzle. We are trying to maneuver these robots down. The first one we have to obviously get the red one to that switch, which opens that door. We then need to get the blue one down here, around here, and we're trying to get it through this door. Where there is a wall we can't do much with, and a wall we can't do much with, but it's green. Let's try and get the blue robot through here. So as you need to pay some attention to the colours, you couldn't have done it the other way around. You could have pressed the switch for the blue robot if you painted that wall blue. I kind of don't want to do that because it's attracted to it, but if you'd used that, you could have used the blue robot to push that switch quite comfortably. It would have been attracted to those two panels, but then you would need to get the red one through here. And the red one would have been awkward because the red one couldn't really push that switch very well. It would not be attracted to a green panel. You could not paint a red robot in any way that would make it attracted to a green panel. You could make it purple, you could make it orange, you could not make it green, because those colours. The thought occurs actually, I'm kind of thinking about it now, it's like, could you like do that? Would that work? It might, let's do, I mean, a point equidistant is about here, which might press the switch. So, seems like you could do it kind of backwards, but it's clearly not how the level was intended in any way, shape or form. We're going to knock that panel out because I don't need that. We are going to take the blue gun, we're going to maneuver it down there, pop some on the wall so that you can see that, and then we're going to break some of these. This one's kind of an interesting one because it's, well, it's relatively easy to accidentally, if you attach it on a few places down one wall and a few places down the other wall, and then remove all one wall at once just to sort of maneuver it along the corridor, it's just going to drift to one side and land on the frying pads and get killed. So you can screw up that level. I've done that before. So we have a blue robot and a green panel. That's a simple solution. Make it green. Ta-da! Hidden around this corner for reasons I cannot fathom is a robot. This is one of the deactivated ones. You can see it's got the spike, so it will attack if aggroed, but it's kind of not at the minute. And the way one would, you know, aggravate one of these robots is by shooting it with anything whatsoever. So now it's going to chase after me. It will go through doors, it will do whatever. I don't think it's still not going to step on electrics, and because it's brown, brown functions very, very similarly to white. I can't paint that panel brown. It was not going to be, the brown robots aren't going to be attracted to a brown panel. They're basically a dud. Well, they're not dud. They're clearly still functional. They don't interact with the world in any way, shape, or form. So yeah. That's those ones. Those won't come up terribly often, but you can use them to sort of deactivate panels if you like. Oh, I don't want anywhere near so many orange panels here. You can knock a couple out there. Might as well knock a camera out, because we can. So, and another one. A lot of cameras to be knocked out here. So yeah, we've got a big purple room and a red robot, and a panel, a wall we can shoot through. Let's make it... Why did I do... Maybe I'm colorblind. Maybe I should make that one the right color. So, yeah, let's try making it purple, which involves a blue gun. Red and blue make purple, there we go. So it's attracted to all the walls in this room, and, well, the middle point of that room is apparently about there. not in the corner. We want it to be in the corner, so I suppose what we would do is mash the colours together until it's attracted. I mean, it's already hit the switch there, but yeah, there we go. Now it's right in the corner. It is there. It's in the right place. It's good. Through here, we can see there is an angry yellow one and a nice passive red one. And I don't know why, for some reason, all of a sudden I'm hunting for cameras now. So what we can do is try and get to the robots. There's a camera. Hi. You can get the yellow one through here. It's going to be angry. It's not going to do a lot. There's no other robots to push it onto panels. So what we're going to do is we are going to use color to drag it onto the panels to deactivate those. That's what we want. Then there's a red one, and the red one's not going to do much if we shoot it. It's a nice passive one, so what we need to do is maneuver this one manually. We'll try and drag it around here. Pull it over these panels without anyone or anything stepping on it. And just slowly maneuver it across. Let's move it to there, move it to there. Can we get it to that? We can. I want those, that. Pull it through the doorway. So obviously the midpoint of those 3 panels is about here, so it will attempt to move to here. As soon as it passes through the doorway, those 2 lines of sight get broken, so the only thing holding it in place is this one. And now if we paint it orange, it's going to go hit the switch for us and open the door. And then we move through to the next area. So it is basically this. It seems to require, I would say, a similar kind of part of the brain as Portal. It's some pleasant puzzling. It's on the same kind of difficulty level for me, I'm finding. Portal was always pleasantly challenging without being overly challenging. A lot of puzzle games, wow, I stepped on the electric. That was fun.
It is worth noting that an exit will never be placed inside or underneath deadly maintenance tiles.
Thank you, not Cave Johnson. Where was I? Difficulty, yeah. Portal always had that kind of nice difficulty level, whereas a lot of puzzle games, I often find just get too challenging almost. They like ramp up the difficulty, and I end up getting frustrated and rage quitting a bunch, which I don't want. I seem to recall being sort of confused by this room in the first instance. I can't remember what purpose this entire chamber serves whatsoever. I don't know what that does, because then you can go through here, and there are some nice white robots that we would probably want to paint some and, you know, stick it on there. I don't know what the point of that first bit was, actually, at all. Grab one robot, put it on there. Oh, I should maybe make that one purple, and that one purple. There we go. And then... No! They don't instantly kill you, they just hurt you for a bit. You have to hit them a few times to get killed by it. We'll knock the camera out. And onwards. Yeah, half that room seems to be completely superfluous, as well as the fact that there are 2 different routes through the level. I don't know, this room's kind of a weird one. But yeah, I mean, if you're the sort of person who gets frustrated easily at puzzle games, but kind of likes how difficult Portal was, as in mildly challenging, pleasantly challenging, not terribly challenging, then this is about the right level of difficulty for you. It's certainly the right level of difficulty for me. Some of the puzzles require a bit of thought. It's an interesting one, certainly, but none of them are really tax you to the point where you end up rage quitting, I can say that much. It's a pleasant little game. It's not as charming as Portal, no, but it hits a lot of the right notes. It definitely does. If you're looking for more similar content and are disappointed that Valve are not producing it, I know they added these sort of perpetual testing initiative thing, but, well, user-created content's a mixed bag at best. If you want more of that kind of content, you could do a lot worse than Chromagun. It's a very pleasant little experience. It's a similar kind of puzzling experience. It's a similar kind of narrative, such as it is. It's not as highly polished, but what would you expect? Valve's a big team with a lot of money to throw at a game, whereas this is a little indie title. It is indie Portal, is what it is. It's what it's trying to be, and to be fair in that regard, it kind of achieves it pretty well. It's available for £10.99 or your regional equivalent on Steam at this moment in time. In fact, at this moment in time, it's actually a little bit cheaper than that. It is £9.34 your regional equivalent with a launch week discount of 15%. Being Unity, it is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And your main issue with this game is going to be if you do suffer from color blindness, you're probably going to have some issues with it. I guess the best way to judge that is if you've been looking at me playing this game and haven't been able to figure out what I've been doing because all the colors look kind of similar to you, then maybe you're going to have difficulties with this game and should probably give it a miss. Otherwise, if you like Portal and want a little budget kind of Portal-esque experience, That's probably, I would wager, somewhere in the region of 3 to 4 hours long. Yeah, this is a good little title for that. It's alright. I'd make that assumption on the basis that I'm about 2/3 of the way through the game, and it's taking me a little under 2 hours to get here, I think, so far. Thereabouts, according to Steam at any rate. But there you go. I have been Meroka. This has been Chromagun. I'm fairly happy to recommend this one, to be honest, with the usual caveats that I've already mentioned, but there you go. And I will see you next time.